Yo, what's up? It's your boy Dizzy, and we back with another episode of Halftime with Dizzy. Week 1 of college football wrapped up. Week 1 of NFL is about to get going, and Cowboy fans are already miserable. A great start to the football season. Let's break it all down. As I said, there's so much to dive into as week 1 of college football has wrapped up. NFL week 1 is starting this weekend. I say this weekend, not on Thursday, because we already know how Thursday's about to go. Eagles about to put belt to ass on the Cowboys, especially after they traded their best player because their owner did not want to sign him. But I'm going to leave y'all alone for a little bit. Let's get right into the gameplay, man. We got the halftime headlines where I'm going to talk about the NFL awards, who I think is going to win MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and of course the rookie awards as well. I'm going to talk about the most impressive and most disappointing teams in college football week 1. And man, I got to recap Bishop Amat versus Oak Hills. Yes, you saw the title. I got pressed. Ain't that about a bitch? I got to start walking around with security to damn high school games. We're going to talk about who was different this past weekend in this segment. He's diffy. We're going to get into some predictions and, of course, the halftime speech. We're keeping it short and sweet today. But before we get into any of that, I do want to show y'all something, man. Check this out right here. Hold on. That's nice, ain't it? It's nice, ain't it? This one's actually Ryan Salcedo. This is a player of the game shirt from Ahmad's game versus St. Paul. But I will be starting to make and sell merch. If you like that shirt right there, it's gonna run you about $30. I know times is tough, but you know, inflation, man. Inflation the motherfucker. If you have a problem with it, take it up with the economy, man. If I have to go down to Carl's Jr. and pay damn near $30 for my double bacon Western cheeseburger combo, you're gonna pay $30 for this damn shirt. That's just the bottom line.
And that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so.
Those are the type of shirts I'll be giving away at each high school game I cover and give when I pick a player of the game. But if you are interested in buying a shirt, it's $30. Hit me up. Send me a text, a DM, or however you can contact me. Or I got an even better idea. Send this video to everybody you know. Get everybody subscribed, and at 350 subscribers, I'll be giving away merch like that shirt, and as well as other things that I got cooking up, you know, and some gift cards and some goodies and stuff like that. So run up that subscribe count, man. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. If you want a shirt, I'm giving you all the options. So
don't ask. I said don't ask. I said don't ask. No questions. Just give the money.
And without further ado, man, let's get into these halftime headlines. The first thing I want to talk about on this episode's edition of Halftime Headlines are the NFL awards. As the NFL season gets ready to kick off, obviously I got to make some predictions. I do it every year in terms of picking who's going to be the MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and of course the Offensive Rookie and Defensive Rookie of the Year. And I want to start by saying this. I'm sorry. I apologize. To those of y'all who have really been watching me and have watched every video I posted, I apologize. Because for the last 2 years, I've made predictions when it comes to these awards, and they've been shitty. I ain't gonna lie. They've been real shitty. It's stuff that I literally pulled out my ass. Real shit. And so I want to say I'm sorry. I think one year I picked Justin Herbert to win MVP. I don't know why that hurts me so bad to this day, but it really does. Last year, I sat there and said Amon-Ra St. Brown was going to win Offensive Player of the Year just because I watched the Netflix series, and I said he's coming with a different mentality. I think I picked Max Crosby one year to win Defensive Player of the Year because they signed Christian Wilkins when really, you know what I'm saying, he probably only won maybe homophobe of the year playing with Christian Wilkins. I mean, listen, for Raider fans and for everyone else, we should have seen this coming. I mean, this dude doing splits on the dick when he win the national championship. He out there grabbing people ass, grabbing people by the nads and stuff. We should have seen it coming, all right? And that's not the type of teammate that Max Crosby needs over there. He need a real nigga, because Max Crosby a real nigga. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, man, I want to get right into picking who I think is going to win these awards. It is hot as hell. in here. So if you see me sweating, I'm in the garage and it's hot as shit. But that ain't gonna stop me, man. Let's get right into it, man. For MVP, there's a few different names that I wanted to throw into this MVP race. But I think Lamar Jackson gonna take it home again. I think he's gonna win his third MVP trophy. I think that Derrick Henry may take a step back. I mean, he had close to 2,000 yards last year. I don't think he's gonna replicate that again in Baltimore as he gets another year older. And Baltimore, according to I think it was sportsbettingdime.com, they have the 10th toughest schedule in all of football. And so I feel like if Lamar can lead this team with the numbers that he's been producing over the years, maybe even better numbers rushing wise if Derrick Henry isn't as great as he was last year. If he can lead this team to a 1 seed, a 2 seed with the schedule that he has to go through, I think he'll definitely be the front runner of MVP, front runner for the MVP yet again. And on that note, I want to say this. I apologize for my picks in the past, but I also want to let y'all know a little secret. When I made my picks in the past, I often made them because I felt like, okay, I'm going to pick like someone that no one would ever pick. And if by some odd chance they do win it, I can come back, clip it, and say, look here, motherfuckers, I predicted it. Follow me, subscribe, all that shit, right? If I had to do that again this year, my pick for MVP would be Baker Mayfield. I'm not gonna lie, man. I think he might be in the MVP race this year at the very least. He's just an absolute gunslinger and was throwing it all over the yard last year. He brings back Mike Evans. He brings back Chris Godwin. And they drafted Emeka Ibuka at Ohio State. I mean, it just adds another weapon who can probably be a wide receiver one on a lot of teams to a receiver room that already had arguably two wide receiver ones, and you still got Bucky Irvin in the backfield. You got a good O line. Todd Bowles is always gonna have that defense ready to go. You're not in a crazy division. Baker Mayfield, if he put up some big numbers, he can be in that MVP race this upcoming year, and I wouldn't be surprised one bit. Let's move on to Offensive Player of the Year, man. This one, I ain't gonna lie to you. It may be a little biased because I really like this player, man. He just got that swag. He just when he go. Here's what I like. Here's what I like when I'm watching any sport. With football, of course, and with basketball, it's like this too. I love watching players where it looks just effortless. Like it's like, bruh, you jogging, huh? Like you giving it, you half-assing it. You ain't even going 100%. And that's how I feel about this player. Justin Jefferson, Mr. Gritty himself. I think he's going Offensive Player of the Year this year because he hasn't had elite quarterback play. I mean, he had Kirk Cousins for most of his career, and I mean, look how Kirk Cousins did last year. I mean, he looked good, and then the next second, absolute shit. Side note, okay? Side note. You know what really pissed me off? And it probably shouldn't have. But in that Netflix documentary quarterback, it was called, when Kirk Cousins gets benched after throwing interceptions like they're going out of style, you get an interception. I mean, this motherfucker, he was like Ray Charles. Ray Charles playing quarterback, just throwing it to anybody. And his wife get up there and start crying when he get benched. I understand that's wifey and like, she's supposed to care, but I don't know. That just pissed me off for some reason. But anyway, let's get back to Justin Jefferson. Had Kirk Cousins for a majority of his year, a majority of his career. Sam Darnold last year. They're not elite quarterbacks. That's just the bottom line. They're not elite quarterbacks. And now he's getting a guy in J.J. McCarthy who a lot of people think is going to be an elite quarterback. You can just look it up. Look up J.J. McCarthy and click news. And there's a lot of articles about people saying this guy is going to be the next great quarterback. And if he's going to be, then I think Justin Jefferson is going to just have more targets, more yards, more touchdowns, especially when you consider that Jordan Addison is going to be suspended for those first few weeks. So Justin Jefferson will be McCarthy's really only target outside of TJ Hawkinson, but you know where the ball is more than likely going on those third downs and all those big plays. It's going to 18. For you Cowboy fans, man, I really wanted to pick CeeDee Lamb. I really did. And it's because I think the Cowboys are going to be shitty. And I and I think that they're going to be losing games, and Dak's going to be healthy. CeeDee's going to be healthy. They're going to be losing games. They got to throw the ball, and so CeeDee's going to get a lot of touches. The thing is that dating all the way back to 1972, there's never been a wide receiver to win Offensive Player of the Year while their team doesn't make the playoffs. And after this Michael Parsons trade, I'm sorry to keep bringing it up, I don't think the Cowboys are making the playoffs this year. And so when I looked at the numbers, Justin Jefferson has over 1,000 more yards than CeeDee Lamb, and CeeDee Lamb has had Dak Prescott his whole career. And Dak Prescott, I think, is someone who's better than Kirk Cousins and Sam Darnold. And so, therefore, now that Justin Jefferson is going to have a quote-unquote elite quarterback, I'm not ready to go all out and say JJ is going to be elite. But a lot of people, a lot of experts, a lot of analysts are saying that he is. I got to see it first. But if he is that, I think Jefferson going to go off, and I think he's going to take home Offensive Player of the Year. Let's move on to Defensive Player of the Year, man. This one, man, I kind of struggle picking who. I feel like this one's kind of tough. I mean, you're always going to, if you guess TJ Watt or Myles Garrett, I think you're always kind of going to have a safe bet. We'll go on one of them. Obviously, last year was Pat Surtain, and that's something that happens every blue moon. It's a DB. I think it's going to be an edge rusher again this year. I'm going to go with Aiden Hutchinson. This is a guy who's coming off an injury. He was on pace to be Defensive Player of the Year and I think set records with his sack total, pause, had he not got hurt. So I think coming off an injury, coming into a season where Detroit's being questioned, their defense is being questioned after Aaron Glenn is now the head coach for the New York Jets. I think Hutchinson is going to come in with a chip on his shoulder, and I think he's going to come back looking to pick up where he left off last year. And I think if he does that, he can bring home Defensive Player of the Year, especially with so many questions surrounding that defense and how they're going to look without Aaron Glenn. Let's move on to the rookies, man. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I mentioned him, and I think I'm going to pick him to pick I think I'm going to pick him to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Emeka Egbuka, man, a wide receiver out of Ohio State. I think that when you consider the fact that Mike Evans is another year older, Chris Godwin's coming off an injury, and they're going to ease him back in, Egbuka can become wide receiver one like JSN did for the Seahawks last year. And so if that's the case and you're wide receiver one for an absolute gunslinger like Baker Mayfield, who you know is going to be looking to throw the deep ball on those play action passes, Egbuka can very easily put up numbers that put him in that Offensive Rookie of the Year race. And I think that he's going to have better numbers than the guys around him in terms of in his draft class. And he's also going to be on a better team. He's on a good team. He's on a playoff team. So I think that he can take home Offensive Rookie of the Year. The reason why I didn't say Travis Hunter, and he's not going to be the one I picked for Defensive Rookie of the Year either, is because Brian Thomas Jr. is the wide receiver one in Jacksonville. And then I don't know if he's going to play enough snaps defensively to be considered a Rookie of the Year candidate. So I left Travis Hunter off the list for that reason. Rookie of the Year, man, I'm going to go Michael Williams, edge rusher for the 49ers. I think when you're on the opposite side of Nick Bosa and he's going to get all the attention, I think you're bound to get one-on-one matchups and just thrive because of it, because there's going to be so much pressure on Nick Bosa. Not to mention you got to keep your eyes out for Fred Warner if he tries to blitz. And I think Williams is going to get a lot of one-on-one matchups, and I think he's going to have a chance to show why he was drafted so high. Moving on to college football, man, week 1 is in the books, and there were a lot of things that took place that need to be talked about. I'm going to break out a new little sub-segment to halftime headlines. It's called Top 5. When I break out a Top 5 list, man, that means I can really be talking about anything, and it's just going to be off the top of the head. It can be about Marvel movies, fast food, video game, whatever. If I say, all right, real quick, Top 5, you're going to hear this. Top 5.
If you got a problem, take it up with my butt. He's the only one that gives a crap.
And I'm going to proceed to give my list. I'm going to tell you the top 5, in my opinion, most impressive college football teams this past weekend and most disappointing teams and performances this past weekend. Starting with who I feel was very impressive this past weekend. And first up on the list, I got Arizona State. Now, they didn't play no powerhouse. They didn't play no crazy ranked opponent. They played NAU, but they took care of business. When you have a lesser opponent in front of you, it is huge. It is imperative that you go out there and you show them that they are the lesser opponent, and that's exactly what they did. Sam Leavitt had a hell of a game, and again, my question for the Big 12 was, is ASU on their way to becoming that powerhouse? Is ASU on their way to becoming that team that when we look at the Big 12, we know they're going to be in the Big 12 championship? And I think this past weekend was a great first step. Coach Dillingham, he's obviously establishing a culture. And I think when they play, when they take the field, the physicality, how ruthless they are, it shows what that culture is. So I was impressed with their performance this past weekend. Next up, Florida State, man, put BTA on Alabama. And I have my questions about Alabama. You guys know that if you saw the last episode. And, I think it got answered this past weekend. Kalen DeBoer, he probably will be out of a job at the end of the year. I'm not hoping that that's the case, but it's probably gonna be the case. I was impressed with Florida State, not just because they beat Alabama, just the fashion that they did it. Just like I said, it was straight belt to ass from kickoff. And their quarterback, Tommy Castellanos, came in, a newcomer from Boston College who put belt to ass on Florida State last year, came in offseason, he talking mad shit. We gonna whoop Bama. We gonna do this, X, Y, and Z to Bama. They can't fuck with us, all this stuff. And in many cases, when a newcomer comes into a locker room and starts talking all that stuff on social media and stuff like that, the locker room is like, yo, like, you new here. What are you doing talking like that? But instead, it seemed like the locker room followed suit. They said, no, we putting belt to ass. We following this quarterback, this newcomer, who and standing on business, standing on everything that we said. So they put belt to ass, and then Tommy was right back on the sideline popping his shit. So I was very impressed with that. They might have a good squad over there at Florida State, or Alabama just is dog shit. So I guess only time will tell. But moving on, man. Tennessee, another squad I was impressed with. Nico said, hey, I'm out of here. The staff said, all right, nigga, bye. Brought in Joey Aguilar from UCLA, and they didn't skip a beat. If anything, they might have looked better with Aguilar under center than when Nico was there. They definitely looked better than UCLA fucking sorry ass did. But anyway, the fact that they didn't skip a beat, that was very impressive. I think that's huge when you consider the fact that there's always so many moving pieces, so much drama with the transfers and stuff like that. And the fact that you can get on the field and not miss a beat and put belt to ass on Syracuse, I think that was pretty impressive by Tennessee. Moving on, TCU. Just simple, man. Just simple. Walk in your trap, take over your trap. We don't care that your head coach has 6 Super Bowl rings as a head coach in the NFL. Walk in your trap, take over your trap. We coming in and we put in that belt to ass. It was so bad. And it was probably more because North Carolina was bad than it was TCU being good. But either way, TCU handled their business. So I got to say, I'm pretty impressed with that. Lastly on the list, my dogs, man. Sam Houston, the Bearcats. I'm impressed because they're consistent. First of all, they're one of the only teams to have 2 games in week 1. They played last weekend and the weekend before that. So shout out to them. In the first game, lost by 17 points. Second game, lost by 17 points. They're consistent. All right. They're consistently ass. And I'm impressed by it because when I play with them on the video game on NCAA, I'm definitely losing by more than 17 points. But on that note, I told y'all in the last video, I'm rebuilding, right? The first season, I think I won like 4 games. This past season, won 7 games, got to the conference championship. Got my ass whooped, but I'm going to use the good old-fashioned sore loser excuse. It was because of my Wi-Fi. If my Wi-Fi wasn't so shit, I think I would have won the championship. So I say that to say, Sam Houston, if you're looking for someone to help you turn things around, bring in the right, recruits, as the great Deion Sanders said, I ain't hard to find. Let's move on. Let's move on to who I felt was the most disappointing this past weekend. First up, you already know who it is. Arch Manning. I mean, to be completely honest, I don't know if what I saw this past weekend was a good thing, to be a positive thing, and that, is an easy fix, or if it's a scary thing. And here's what I mean by that. I feel like he was making the right reads. I feel like he was throwing to the right guys, the guys that were open, the guys who, the defense, slipped up and let run free or anything like that. I think that he was making the right reads. He was making the right decisions throwing the ball. He just wasn't making the fucking throws. I mean, he has a corner route and the guy's kind of open. and he sails it to the other team. I mean, I'm at one point I'm sitting here thinking, does Arch know that his team's wearing orange and the other team is wearing red? He's not making the throws that we should be expecting from a guy who everyone says is going to be the number one overall pick. He's a Manning. He's the next Jesus H. Christ. Like, he's supposed to be so good, and yet he's not making the throws that he's supposed to make. And again, I don't know if that's a good thing, because hey, the hard part is reading the defense and making the right reads, and making the throws is an easy fix, or if it's a scary thing because maybe he just can't make the fucking throws. So, I don't know. Again, I know that his last name is Manning, so you automatically believe that everything's gonna be all right. But I hate to tell you guys something. We gotta start coming down to fucking reality at some point. Michael Jordan had a son that played basketball. He was absolute dog shit. And Michael Jordan is the greatest player ever. His son was dog shit at basketball. So just because your last name is Manning or James or Jordan, Bryant, whatever it is, that doesn't mean you automatically good. So we got to stop the narrative that just because he's a Manning, he gonna be good. We really got to start dissecting the film and seeing what he's putting out there, and maybe come to the harsh reality that he's not that guy. I'm hoping that that's not the case. I'm hoping that he does well, but we also got to be prepared if that's not the case. All right, moving on to who else disappointed me this past weekend. Notre Dame, man, losing to Miami. I know that they ended up closing the gap and they only lost by 3 points in the end, but all this talk in the offseason, man, after going to the national championship last year, and you had a lot of talk in the offseason. Jeremiah Love was supposed to be a Heisman candidate. Head coach Marcus Freeman talks about how Jeremiah Love is so good. He's about to go off. Jeremiah Love himself is saying, I'm ready. It's go time. I'm about to have a historic year and win the Heisman. 10 carries. 10 carries against Miami is all Jeremiah Love got. You're supposed to have a great running attack with the other running back. I think it's Jadarian Price. 16 total carries. That's just unacceptable from a team that was just in the national championship. And again, you lost to a Miami team led by Carson Beck. Now, listen, I'm not one. Well, when I say somebody sucks, if you know me, you know I'm often, in my sarcastic tone, I'm joking around. I'm being a little dramatic sometimes. Ultimately, I can't say that anyone truly sucks because they're in the position they're in. Carson Beck is a Division I quarterback, but you know what I'm trying to say. I mean, Carson Beck ain't no dab. You know what I'm saying? He ain't no Joe Burrow, LSU Joe Burrow. You know what I'm saying? That's not a guy that Notre Dame should be losing to, if we're being real. And honestly, man, this may be a little more crucial than people think. I know it's only week 1, but Notre Dame is an independent school and they're not playing a tough schedule. They play A&M this upcoming week, and after that, they don't have nobody tough on their schedule. So if the committee is being as strict and as harsh and taking strength of schedule into consideration like they're saying they are, this game can wind up biting Notre Dame in the ass later on when it comes to picking who's going to make the playoffs. And Notre Dame might find themselves on the outside looking in. Moving on. Who we got next on the list? Oh, shit. Clemson. Good old Clemson. I mean, what the fuck? That's all I'm going to say. I'm moving on. North Carolina. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, Bill Belichick debut is so much hype. Oh, it's Chapel Bill now. It's not Chapel Hill. Bill Belichick, Super Bowl champ, all-time great coach, arguably the greatest head coach in NFL history. He's going down to the college level. He's going to coach at North Carolina. He's going to bring them a national championship, win the ACC, all this shit. And they look like absolute dog shit. Oh my goodness. Let up 41 straight points to TCU. Offense was ass. Defense was ass. I mean, them niggas couldn't tackle. I mean, at the very least, put the guy on the ground. I think Joe Swanson could have ran for 100 yards on North Carolina this past weekend. That was awful. Awful. And so bad that I think Bill Belichick was standing on the sideline. He was sitting there thinking, what am I going to do first tonight? Am I going to fire my son, who's a defensive coordinator and can't get a stop? Or am I going to go to the gas station, grab a Rhino pill, pop that thing, and go home to my 24-year-old girlfriend? Oh my goodness, it was bad. It was bad. But if we're being real, it can't be good for Bill's heart if he's popping it, because he has to be popping one of those. I mean, I don't think he's popping a Blue Chew or a Roll or a regular Viagra. It has to be some strong shit, some illegal shit, and that can't be good for his heart. And you add on top of it that his team is getting their ass whooped. That's not good for his heart either. So I think he's either got to pick one: either step down as North Carolina's coach, or step away from the Rhino Pills, or he ain't gonna make it past week 7. Let's move on. The last team on the list, Boise State, man. I mean, they got their asses handed to them by USF. Shout out to those boys who said we gonna put belt to ass. I mean, that's just how it went. But I mean, Boise State. I mean, did no one tell y'all that Ashton Genty was going to the league, that he wasn't gonna be there, and y'all got to go recruit some motherfuckers this offseason? I mean, what happened? Complete belt to ass. I expected better from Boise State. And yeah, that's the list, man. That's my top 5 most impressive and most disappointing performances, teams, players from this past week in college football. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Let's move on to the next day. Okay, so last week when I started thinking about, okay, what am I going to talk about in the second episode? High school football, recapping high school football was not one of the things I thought. But then something happened. Yes, you see it in the title. A parent from Oak Hills pressed me. And so I feel like, let me talk about the game a little bit. But I think I'm going to tell the story first. So, again, if you've been following along, Oak Hills Bishop Mott played last week. One of my college teammates, Shamar Weston, a good friend of mine, he's a DB coach over there. So I said, hey, let's get an interview in, stuff like that. Interviewed him. Made my prediction on halftime with Dizzy. I predicted Alma will win. Get to the game. Game's over. Oak Hills wins. So Shamar had told me, hey, after the game, come over, get on the field, and maybe you can interview a couple of our players, coaches, stuff like that. I'm like, all right, bet. So I'm getting ready to go on the field. They're shaking hands. Obviously you got your post game. Coaches got to talk to the players and stuff. So I'm just waiting off to the side. I'm standing there. I got Tiffany with me. I'm standing there waiting on the edge of the field, and all I hear is, "What you gonna say now?" And at first, I mean, I didn't think nothing of it. I didn't turn nothing. I didn't think anyone was talking to me. It was, parents right there. It was crowded stuff. So I thought, okay, some other people talking. But then I hear it again. What you gonna say now? And I start feeling that, what I'm talking about, where you feel somebody looking at you, staring at you, walking up on you. So I turn to my left, and sure enough, it's a dude, an OG, obviously one of the dads from Oak Hills. Mean look in his eye. And I look at him, I go, "You talking to me?" I said, "You talking to me?" He said, "Yeah. I saw your video, man. I saw your little prediction. You said Alma was going to win. What you going to say now?" And immediately, I'm thinking, oh my God, you watched my video. Like, no way. Like, you watched my video and you watched it all the way through. Because to get to the prediction part, you had to watch at least 35, 40 minutes. It was a long video last week. So I'm like, cool. Like, you watched my video. But then I realized I need to come back down and address this and answer this. And so I'm thinking, I'm looking at this dude, and I'm like, what am I going to say? What am I going to say now? Oak Hills tapped that ass. It was 38-10. I predicted Alma was going to win, I think, 28-24. And Oak Hills tapped that ass. So what am I going to say now? So I looked at him. I cracked a smile. I said, hey, man. Hey, man. I graduated from here. My brother go here. I was being biased. All right, I'm sorry. Y'all got a squad. Hey, good stuff. He dabbed me up. So, but I'm just like, I was so taken aback. Like, damn, like, I thought I at least could get some more buzz and get some more views and stuff before niggas start pressing me at high school games and shit. Like, damn. No, man. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to I think he said his name was Tristan. We talked a little bit after the game, man. Shout out to Pops. Let's talk about this game real quick, man. Oak Hills versus Bishop Vermont, how it went down. It really came down to one thing. One team could run the ball and the other couldn't. One team could stop the run and the other couldn't. And really, in my opinion, that's all just mentality. Running the ball is a mentality. Stopping the run is a mentality. Going into halftime, I thought the game was going to be a lot closer, a lot better. It was only 14-10 going into halftime, but it ultimately came down to which team wanted it more, and it was obviously Oak Hills. They did basically whatever it is that they wanted on both sides of the ball. I walk away. I want to talk about what I walk away thinking about both teams. I'm going to start with Oak Hills. Shamar Weston, my boy, a coach for Oak Hills, he hit it right on the head. This is a team that can definitely go far. I think they would be in Division II playoffs, and they can definitely go far with this squad led by Jacob Webster at quarterback, dual threat. He was making big plays all night and really just being a closer. I mean, Ahmad would get them in tricky third down situations where it's like, okay, they get a stop. Maybe the momentum starts to flip, and then here goes Webster either running it in himself for a first down or scrambling and finding a wide open receiver down the field and just being a big play on third and long. So I think that they have the talent to definitely go far, and really just the mentality all throughout the program. I mean, the biggest thing that had us shook while we sitting there is they're introducing the teams, right? The obviously the visiting team comes out first. And all of a sudden we just hear, "Who let the dogs out?" You know what I'm saying? We hearing that. And it's loud, like a loud speaker. And we're like, that ain't our speakers. And we look across and these motherfuckers brought their own PA system. They whole surround sound and everything. And the crowd is going crazy. They coming out. They got a flag. I mean, it was through the whole program. Like I said, coaches, players, cheerleaders, parents, everybody. It's like we are walking into your house and we are eating your food and you ain't gonna do shit about it. And that's really what it was. I said they had to control the crowd. They controlled the crowd. They kept the dog pound out. Well, the dog pound was never in it. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, as a Bishop Vermont alum, as someone who played at Almont, that was pretty fucking embarrassing, pretty disappointing to see how the dog pound showed up or didn't show up this past Thursday. But like I said, Oak Hills, they came with a different mentality, and when you combine that with the talent that they have on the field, that's a championship level team over there at Oak Hills. Now let me say this about Bishop Vermont. I walk away feeling excited. Not because of the outcome of the game or anything like that, but because this is why I was so excited about Coach Corey Minor getting the job. Not for the wins are going to come. The big games are going to come. But for these moments in adversity when it's like, damn, how we going to bounce back? Damn, where we going to go from here? There's no one better suited to lead young men through these type of moments than Corey Minor, who has been through it all, who fought and struggled and earned his way to Notre Dame and to a CIF title at Ahmad and to being one of the best players to ever come out the Valley, and then go to Notre Dame and be a baller there, and then get to the NFL, which y'all already know the statistics. What, 1%, less than 1% of people who play football make it to the NFL. Corey Minor has been through it all, and he knows how to be successful, how to be elite, and get through this type of adversity. And so I have no doubt that Ahmad will bounce back and can very easily see a team like this again in the playoffs if they make it there. And I think ultimately Valencia, they didn't do nothing, but they going to have to pay. I think Ahmad's going to come back. They're going to bounce back and try to get at least 2 of the next 3 as they go on a road trip, man. It's a whole month before they play their next home game. So I think that they're going to try to finish out pre-league strong and go into league ready to battle.
Wide open man. A flick into the end zone by Jerome Simpson. Oh, goodness.
Let's move on to He's Diffie, man. You already know my favorite segment of all the segments here on Halftime with Dizzy. Let's start with Jake Retzloff. It's no longer BY Jew, it's Jew Lane. Here's why he was different this past weekend. He led both teams in rushing. Now, I know on this show I said, things wouldn't be about race. I know I said that. But you know what I'm trying to say when I say it was impressive that he had more rushing yards than everybody else on the field. You know what I'm trying to say. Between both teams, he had the most rushing yards. You know what I'm trying to say. He had a long touchdown run to go with 152 passing yards, man. He's built for this stage. I know there's a lot of off the field drama in the offseason, but you know, he's trying to let all that go and just play to the best of his ability, man. And I already showed y'all in the past who he used to play with and how, you know, I basically helped him, you know, get to this stage, you know what I'm saying? And fuck it, I'm gonna show y'all again. Moving on to who's next on the list, CJ Daniels at the University of Miami against Notre Dame. Did y'all see this catch? I mean, that reminded me of a young Dizzy Too Nice. Can we get the side by side real quick? I mean, shit. I mean, that was a hell of a catch, man. I guess his was a little more impressive, but you know, I'm just trying to show y'all that, you know, the boy Diz was like that back in the day. All right, let's move on to the last who's different this past weekend. I know y'all saw this. Ryan Day, head coach of Ohio State. The nipple piercings, bro. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. I'm gonna tell you why it's different. I'm gonna tell you why it's different. Because you know how sick I would be to lose to a nigga that got his nipples pierced. Oh my God. If I'm Michigan, if I'm Oregon, Penn State, everybody in the Big Ten, if I'm the head coach, I'm walking into that auditorium. Fuck the film. Fuck the, you know, that they won a natty last year. Forget all that. I am not losing to a guy that has his nipples pierced. I will not do it. Steve Sarkisian over at Texas, you know what he got to think about when he had gotten to his hotel and all that stuff. You know what he had to think about? Damn, I lost to a nigga that got nipple piercings. Holy shit. Hey, Ryan Day, you a different cat, bro. You a different cat. That's everybody for He's Diffy. Again, you know, hey, if NAIA, D3, high school, Pop Warner, if you see a play or some crazy stats that need some recognition, need some shine, man, send them on over to me and I'll definitely shout them out. Let's move on to some predictions, man.
One thing.
This time around, when it comes to prediction, I'm going to really keep track of the ones I get right and the ones I get wrong. Because I'm not ashamed to show you when I'm wrong. I'm definitely not ashamed to show you when I'm right. So I'm not ashamed to show you when I'm wrong. But I'm never going to blame me. I'm going to blame these bum-ass teams that keep losing. And as my good friend Alex would say, my former roommate, there's some teams that got to be added to the ban list that for the rest of the season, I ain't predicting you to win shit because holy shit. And it starts with Los Osos from last week, Clemson, Bishop Vermont. You get one more chance, Bishop Vermont. UCLA, you get one more chance, UCLA. But for Los Osos and for Clemson, Los Osos, banned. Clemson, banned. Okay, y'all let me down last week, and I ain't going for none of that for the rest of the season. Let's get into who I'm gonna predict for this week. Some high school football, big high school matchup coming up. Folsom coming down to Mission Viejo to take on. Those are two powerhouses, two teams with a bunch of guys that have offers from all over the place. I'm gonna go Folsom to win this game, man. I didn't put scores this week. I'm gonna just tell you who I think is gonna win. I'm gonna go for Folsom. What's his name? Ryder Lyons, I think it is, for Folsom, the quarterback. I do the truth, man. He the truth for real. I think he gonna lead them to a big win over Mission Viejo. Moving on to college, Michigan at Oklahoma. Hey, man. I really want to see if Bryce Underwood is like that. We're going to see. I'm going to pick Oklahoma to win this. I think a lot of people are going to pick Michigan. I'm going to go Oklahoma. Oklahoma handled business against Illinois State. that Michigan defense did look a little shaky against New Mexico. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick Oklahoma for this one. Next up, Sacramento State going up against my boy Josh's alma mater, Nevada. Jaden Rashada, they got some guys over there, some 4 or 5 star guys over there. I'm gonna go ahead and go Sacramento State to win this game on the road, man. Next up, Campbell going to East Carolina. Shout out to my dog Cookie. I know he'll be rushing the quarterback, looking to get a sack. Pause. I'm gonna go Campbell to win this game on the road, and the game that I'm really excited for. The Battling Bears are back, baby. They're back. After going 2-8 last season, they're back. Not only are they back, this is the shit that they're wearing. And even though I'm excited, I do have a bone to pick. Coach Stutz, Coach Moore, and everybody else at Rocky. Y'all wait till I leave to wear the good shit. I mean, come on, bro. That helmet is hard as shit. Hey, y'all, I mean, at least let me get a picture before I had left. You could at least let me get a picture in it. And yeah, now y'all gonna wear it. Just because y'all wearing it, and just because I'm biased, and just because I love y'all, I got y'all beating College of Idaho this week. Fuck the Yotes. I got Rocky winning against College of Idaho in their home opener. Let's move on to some NFL, man. Raiders. I got y'all winning in y'all first game against the Patriots going on the road. I think the Patriots will take a little bit to get going. I think that Vrabel is the right coach. I think Drake May has a lot of promise. I think Max Crosby is looking to give Will Campbell some welcome to the NFL moments. I'm going to go to Raiders to win this game on the road in Pete Carroll's debut. Next up, Texans coming down to L.A. to face the Rams. Coach McVay said Stafford's ready to go. And if he's ready to go, I'm going to go with the Rams. I think that they have enough to have a Super Bowl caliber team. When you talk about their weapons at receiver, obviously Stafford's a Super Bowl champion and one of the great quarterbacks in this league. They have a good running back, a good running game, a good defense. I think that they can be a really real threat in the NFC to the Eagles. All they got to do is keep Stafford healthy. And I got them winning this game. I think the Texans, I think they'll bounce back. I think they'll be good this year, but I think same thing. They'll kind of sputter at first and then get rolling. Lastly, the Ravens going down to Buffalo to face the Bills. Ooh, man, this one's a toss-up. I don't know which one to pick. But I'm going to pick the Ravens. I think it's going to come down to that defense. I think that defense, it's ultimately going to come down to who gets a stop first, I feel like, in this game. And I think the Ravens defense is best equipped to get a stop first. So I'm going to pick them to win on the road. Those are all my predictions. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let's get into the halftime speech.
The Cinderella story is over, man. Right? They're fighting for clicks, we're fighting for wins. There's a difference. Right? There's a difference.
I'm hurt, dog. Don't ask me if I'm all right. Hell no. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it. I'm putting my heart in this dog. Let's go, man. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Lord, just want to start your heart and find out who you really are. Make sure you look at your teammate today, and you come out and you give pure hell today. This team ain't ready for us. Let's prove that they ain't ready for us. Oh, get in here. Let's go. Get in here right now. Get in here. Hey, we got 30 minutes for the rest of our lives. 30 minutes for the rest of our lives.
Halftime speech, man. When a coach gives a halftime speech, it's to get his team through the rest of the game, motivate them to give it all they got for the rest of the game. And that's all this is, man. A little nugget to help you get through rest of your day, rest of your week, rest of your month, rest of your year. Wherever you are right now, I'm hoping that what I say can help you, motivate you to push through, man. And my halftime speech for you is just to remember how blessed you are, man. Remember how blessed you are. I got a quick story to tell. The other day, I'm driving home. It's late at night. And for the Clinton boys, man, when you driving home late at night, you making 1 or 2 stops. It's to the gas station right here across the street that we call the Bodega, or it's the Del Taco right across the street. You can't go with either one. It's good late night eats, late night snacks, late night drink, whatever. I was thirsty that night, so I wanted to drink. I stopped at the Bodega. I get out the car, and there's a dude just sitting there on the side of the building. It's just him. He's got a bunch of bags with him, and he's got a dog with him. But you could tell he's obviously homeless. And I just went up to him. I was like, "Hey man, you want anything from inside, a snack or anything like that?" And he gets up. And he's like, "Yeah, man, that'd be awesome." Like, yes, of course. And so we're walking in, and as we're walking in, he's like, how you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm good, man. How are you?" Which, is just a reaction. He's homeless. How great could he be? But he looks at me. He says, "Man, I'm blessed. I'm blessed." And that it really hit me, and it almost made tears come out my eyes, because it's like, think of all the things that I'm just thinking about, all the things that I complain about, that I get upset, because I don't have this, or I really want this and this hasn't happened yet. But it's like, if a guy that don't have no roof over his head, don't got no bed to lay in, nothing like that, if he can look at another man and say that he's blessed, then what the hell am I complaining about when I got so many things that so many other people don't have? So that's all I wanted to let y'all know this week, man. Just take a moment to remember how blessed you are. However bad things are going, however bad you think you have it, there's somebody out there that has it worse, man. So don't forget to count your blessings, and to thank God for everything you have, because things could be a lot worse, man. That's it for the halftime speech. Let me think, man. Is there anything I want to tell y'all before we wrap this up? Um, I'll be at Cajon versus Etowanda this weekend, or not this weekend, tomorrow on Thursday. I'll be giving live updates on that. I'll be giving out a shirt like this. This one is Ryan Salcedo. So Ryan, if you're watching this, at some point I'll give you a shirt from when you did your thing against St. Paul. I'll be giving a shirt like that to whoever the best player is on the field at Etowanda versus Cajon. I'll be doing a pregame interview that'll be posting Thursday afternoon. It's with Landon White, a really good receiver, holds multiple Division I offers. Shout out to my boy Shamar for setting that up, making that connection. That'll be dropping tomorrow. So please stay tuned for that. Be subscribed. Make sure you have your notifications on, because it'll premiere. And you can watch it as it's posting. What else we got? I think that's it. Man. Again, run that subscriber count up at 350 subscribers. I'm giving away some merch and other goodies as well, gift cards, stuff like that. So be sure to share this with all your family members, all your friends. Tell them to subscribe, and just stay tuned. I'm gonna have another video for you real soon.